ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. హరి ఓం. శ్రుతిస్మృతిపురాణానామాలయం కరుణాలయం నమామి భగవత్పాదశంకరం లోకశంకరం. నారాయణం నమస్కృత్య నరం చైవ నరోత్తమం దేవీం సరస్వతీం వ్యాసం తతో జయముదీరయేత్. యక్ష ఉవాచ అక్షయో నరకః కేన ప్రాప్యతే భరతర్షభ ఏతన్మే పృచ్ఛతః ప్రశ్నం తచ్చీఘ్రం వక్తుమర్హసి. This word prashnam is an interesting word. It is an exception to stoshchunashchuhu, if I remember correctly. Okay? You check it, okay? That is the question. Okay? Naschavyaprashan, that is another sutra. Even prashna also could be an exception. You have to check. Then that is the question. Who gets unending hell? Which, that is the literal meaning. Metaphorically it means unending bondage of samsara. Who is that gets the never-ending hell? That is the question by Yakṣa. And the answer is vidyamāne dhane lobhāddānabhogavivarjitaḥ paścānnāstīti yo brūyātsokṣayaṃ narakaṃ vrajet. A greedy person will go to the hell. That is what is the answer. So he has all the money with him, and but he is very greedy. A greedy person, he doesn't enjoy the wealth that he has accumulated. He doesn't allow his family members also to enjoy the wealth that he has accumulated, and then he doesn't give it any part of his wealth to others. He will be protecting that wealth from everybody else in the society, from everybody in the family, and from himself. And so the wealth will be there. They give an example. It is like a dog that protects a bale of hay, grass, you know. The grass is put there as a big heap, and a dog is put there to protect it. When a cow comes near, the dog will drive away the cow. A cow, buffalo, anything which eats grass, when they come near to grab a little grass, the dog will not allow. It will be going around and driving them away. And okay, at least the dog, will it eat the grass? It won't eat the grass. A greedy person is compared with a dog that is protecting a bale of grass. That is how he is compared. There is a verse about wealth. Dhanam bhogo nashaha tisro bhavanti gatayo vittasya. This is from Bhartruhar Subhashita. First line I could get, second line I am not sure whether I will get. So the money, when you accumulate the money, there are three ways that the money will go away. First, dhanam, you charity, the money will go. It is an outlet for the money. Bhogaha, you enjoy yourself and let the family members enjoy. That is another outlet for the money to go. And if you don't use the two outlets which are available, dhanam and bhogaha, if you don't use it, you close both these outlets, then there is a third outlet through which the money will go, the wealth will go, and that is nashaha. It gets destroyed. Somebody will steal it, or the king will come and confiscate it. The kings do that. The kings, they just confiscate the wealth from the rich people. That is how it happens. I had a feeling, maybe you can correct me, in the American society, things are changing now. At one time, when it was considered the land of opportunity, etc. Even now, probably it is that. I am not sure. I don't know. At one time, what people say is, here the people are encouraged to make more money, success. This land of opportunity, work hard and make more money. You are working 8 hours, then work 12 hours, you can make a lot more money. And so like that they make a lot of money, accumulate and accumulate. Then the society which allowed you to make all that money will take away all that money from you. How it will take away? You should live in a big home. So if you are living in a small home, it will tell you, you live in a big home, mortgage is available, so take away some money. You should drive a better car. The present car is not worthy of you. Therefore make the person purchase a bigger car, and then you need a second car. So like that they take away all the money. The person is left with virtually some crumbs he is left with. They are very interesting. They allow him to grow and grow and grow and then pull him down. That is how it happens. They say like that. Anyway, so these are the three outlets, dhanam, bhogo, nashaha. And if you close the first two, the third is the only outlet that is left and that will happen. So, dhana, bhoga, vivarjitaḥ. Here we are talking of the greedy person who doesn't have charity and enjoyment in his life. Dhana, bhoga, vivarjitaḥ. You see, people find it difficult to realize that the sense pleasures that you can acquire by spending money and all that are very transient, meaning they are very short-lived. Therefore, the money that you accumulate, you may enjoy a few things here and there, but if you are accumulating and you are holding on to the money, and then with a view to enjoy it in due course of time or later, you are making a mistake, because the sense pleasures, they want to stay with anybody. They are very transient. And then this sense enjoyment is there. Pleasure seeking, another name, sense enjoyment. There are very strict laws, unrelenting laws, which do not allow the man to be happy in sensual pleasures. Like food you take. If you want to be happy in consuming tasty gourmet food, etc., there are laws waiting. The sugar in the blood, that is one law. There are other laws. Then the liver has its own laws, and the kidney has its own laws. These laws are there. They won't spare anybody. They don't respect personalities, whosoever he may be. These laws will punish the person if he is pursuing unbridled sense pleasures. If that is the case, why should you accumulate so much wealth? Because the wealth, if you have to use it for acquiring sense pleasures, bhoga, and that bhoga punishes the person. And in fact, happiness is not to be found in sense objects. That people have to understand. Therefore, if sense objects do not have happiness, then why do you accumulate them? Then why do you need so much money to accumulate the sense objects and all that? Why? This is a kind of spiritual degradation. So, therefore, the person who is engrossed in sense pleasure would ever be far from truth. We are students of Vedanta. For us, the main goal is discovering the truth in life. That is our goal. So, ihache vedi datha satyamasti nachediha vedin mahati vinashtihi. Like that, there is a statement coming from Kenopanishad. Kenopanishad is a small Upanishad, 2 or 3 khandas, putting the story part aside. And not many mantras, all put together some 20-25 mantras. And in that, this is one important mantra. So in this life, having taken birth as a human being, it is imperative that you should discover the truth of the self. If so, you have utilized the life right way. If not, you have wasted it. Therefore, this greed for money and enjoying sense pleasures through the money that we accumulate, this is a very destructive path. So people have to understand that. That is how Dharmaraja is presenting. So that person, this greedy person, what he did is, he said, I will give you. You come, I will give you. And then paścānnāstīti yo brūyāt. And when this poor guy came seeking some money for his life, for his important need, but this money, because of this person, because of the greed, he refuses to part with the wealth that he has accumulated. And he says no. First he says, okay, I will see. So gives some hope. Therefore that person comes. There is a paścāt there. That's why I am saying it. Then finally he says, an empty hand, and it drives him away. Such a person, so he will go to hell, which will not end for him. Akṣayaṃ narakaṃ vrajet. You see, if you want real freedom, if that is what you really want, you cannot have the freedom while you are greedy of the worldly things. People, they try to be very clever. What they do, they come to Vedanta courses, this and that. Swamis also offer these courses, you know. It is a kind of a mutual thing it is. Swamis also offer this. They have taken it as a profession for themselves. And for want of better things, they continue to do that and accumulate all the people, collect money, do this, do that. All these things they will be doing. And reeling out some of these standard texts which are left for the generations to come by great Mahatmas earlier, like Tattvavidananda, Atmabodha, these texts are around. So pick up a few of them and go on giving lectures. But the people who give lecture remain in bondage. The people who are lectured also remain in bondage. The bondage continues because there cannot be freedom from bondage as long as we are greedy of the worldly things. So, it is like I came across a Mahatma who used to have a strong opinion that give some very good gourmet food plenty to these people, the students of Vedanta. Just flood them with wonderful kind of food. They will become very happy after enjoying all that food. They need not bother about food. And then they will become free from this requirement of the food, etc. And with that freedom, they will study Vedanta very well. This is the formula. There cannot be anything far from truth, farther from truth than that. If you keep an empty stomach, some Vedanta may come into your system. But if you keep a full stomach, enjoy gourmet food, rich food, etc., and have all the comforts that money can bring, and then come to Vedanta, you are contradicting yourself. It doesn't work like that. So you have to deny to yourself. This is what is called self-abnegation. It is an important precondition for realization of the truth. So, therefore, what is the fun of being greedy for the things of the world? So, you see, suppose you become the head of an organization or become the ruler of a nation or a country, even then there is no guarantee that you are free. And there need not be any freedom in spite of that. Because, you see, some of these big people, the kings and queens, the richest people of the world, the rich of the world, so they live in royal palaces, and they go through a cycle of pleasure and pain, pleasures and pains. They go through a cycle of pleasures and pains. You see, don't imagine that they have only pleasure and no pain. No. They too go through a cycle of pleasures and pains. And then you just think of a blind old woman, blind, which is a very serious disadvantage. Old woman, illiterate old woman, living in a mud hut. She will go through a cycle of pleasure and pain, some pleasure, some pain. She prepares some food and eats, there is pleasure, but she struggles to prepare that food because she is blind, illiterate, living in a mud hut. She is old woman, and all disadvantages are put together in one place, and therefore she goes through a lot of pain, and so she goes through a cycle of pleasure and pain. Can you imagine that? These queens and kings living in royal palaces and the rich of the world go through the same cycle of pleasure and pain. Can you understand what I said? They are not any privileged at all. If any, this old woman in the mud hut will have a better sleep than all these rich people living in, queens and kings living in royal palaces. Therefore, people, they don't understand that money will not make you happy. It brings a load of suffering to people, and so don't be greedy. Whatever you have, better you share it. Share it, you spend it upon yourself, whatever you require. Don't be greedy about it, and don't be miserly. You spend it upon yourself, enjoy a little in a reasonable way, and then allow family members also to enjoy, and allow the community and the society to have the advantage of the wealth that you have. They too can enjoy some of that wealth. Be like that. Then you will be eligible for that freedom from the bondage of samsara. If that is not there, if people they remain greedy and miserly, they will never ever acquire that freedom, even after studying a lot of shastra, this and that. Okay? That is about greed. Let us finish that verse. Dhane, wealth. Vidyamāne, as is available. So wealth is available, okay? Lobhāt, out of miserliness. Dhānabhogavivarjitaḥ, deprived of charity and enjoyment. Paścāt, afterwards, meaning having promised to somebody afterwards. Nasti, there is no money. Iti thus, brūyāt says. So he promised to something and tells, no, there is no money. It happens like that. There are some people like that. Very unfortunate. Saha, such person, akṣayaṃ, endless, narakaṃ, hell, vrajet, gains. Good, that verse is over. Vidyamāne dhane lobhāt, dhānabhogavivarjitaḥ, paścānnāstīti yo brūyāt, sokṣayaṃ narakaṃ vrajet, yakṣa uvāca. Now you look at this question and answer. You pay attention to this. Rājankulena vṛttena, svādhyāyena śrutena vā brāhmaṇyaṃ kena bhavati prabrūhyetatsuniścitaṃ. He is asking, "Hey Maharaja, Dharmaraja, please tell me this. And you think about it and give me an ascertained opinion, sunishchitam, about this. What is this? Who is a Brahmana?" That is the question. What is it that makes one a Brahmana? There is Brahmana Vargaha, one entire section, last one in Dhammapada, running into some 2 dozen verses or so. There also very similar discussion, very similar, absolutely same, no difference at all. And this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, they are called varna. Varna. Why they are called varna? The word varna in Sanskrit means color. Somehow, initially, it is understood that Brahmana, among the four, Brahmana will be fairer in color, and Shudra will be more brown in color. And in between, that is how the color gradation will be. Start with fair and come to brown. In between, 2 more shades. More fair, less brown, and then less fair, more brown, and brown. This is the color. It was there was some kind of a coincidence that a Brahmana was having fair color. And therefore, so Brahmana Varna color. That is how the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra classification, it has come from color. It is Varna is color. It came from color. And then there are so many exceptions to this color-based social classification. Because a Brahmana is not fair, he is brown, but still he is a Brahmana. So therefore, the Varna word is taken out of that color meaning. In this context, it doesn't mean color. It means a class. That is how the word has acquired a new meaning. Words change their meaning, you know that? Words do not have the same meaning in all generations. For example, some of the words which Shakespeare used, we cannot use them today. In the English literature, they use a word gay, means he is a happy person. And it is used in that sense by all great writers of English language and literature. But then you cannot use it now. It has changed the meaning. And once I took a class in Salisbury and I used a word to mean donkey. I used a word. What we were using in India, in the childhood we were using it. And I used it. Then when I finished the class and coming out, one elderly person came to me and advised me, "Don't use that word. You use the word donkey, not that word." I said, "It is an appropriate word. That is how we studied in the childhood in our high school, but not in America." So this way, the words, they have a meaning, but that meaning is not like a rock. It won't remain unchanged forever. It undergoes changes. That is how the word varna, which meant the color, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra social classification, was connected to the color. And hence it is called varna, Brahmana varna, Kshatriya varna. Like that it started. But then as the color has become irrelevant more and more, the word remained and the meaning of the word has changed. Nowadays, they use the word varna to mean both. In one context it means color, in another context it means the 4 classifications that are there. They are also called varna. I am treading cautiously. It is not caste. Varna is not caste. Varna is not caste. Varna is class, not caste. Kula is caste. But here the word kula is used in the sense of class. Words are used. That's why I am hesitant to say, to introduce kula as caste. But because Yakṣa is not using it in the sense of caste, he is using it in the sense of class. Therefore, presently, in the present discussion, all these ideas and all these words have to be examined carefully, and we have to make a correct understanding. This is the right time. When I taught this in Telugu, I felt that this topic, which is very much controversial in this society among scholars, among various groups of Hindus, this topic is a burning topic. It is controversial and it is problematic, and people, they don't speak definitively. Sunishchitam they don't speak. They speak a language which neither moves this side nor that side. We have a proverb in Telugu, the stick won't break, the serpent won't die. Like that. Means they don't take a firm position, they don't take. They play hide and seek, and they keep it as ambiguous as possible. Don't play such mischief with me. You answer my question correctly, unequivocally. That is what he is asking. Sunishchitam. And then he is giving options. Who is a Brahmana? What is it that determines the Brahmaṇyaṃ, the status of a Brahmana? What is it that determines? What are the options he gives? Kula, by birth. That is the meaning of kula, not caste, by birth. Vṛttena, conduct. Svādhyāyena, recitation of the Veda. Śrutena, wide knowledge. That is śruta. Śruta is bahuśruta, wide knowledge. Versatile or wide knowledge. So 4 options are given. In these 4 options, birth is there. Kula is the birth. Kula is translated not exactly as birth, but as ancestry. That is how the translation is given in this context, which amounts to birth. So now the question is, what is it that makes a person a Brahmana? Is it birth or is it conduct? You see, in the high school, even now it is there in India. When you leave the high school and go to college, they give conduct certificate. So you have to submit the high school leaving certificate, SSLC, secondary school leaving certificate. You leave the school only after you successfully finish the courses there. That certificate, and then a TC, transfer certificate, and then CC, conduct certificate. 3 certificates you have to put. Then only they give you seat in the college. So we used to have conduct certificate. And the headmaster has to certify for the 40-50 students who are leaving the school that year. He has to certify for 40-50 students that their conduct is good. Therefore, how does he know the conduct of all these people? It is a bureaucratic procedure. He knows some that these are people of good conduct. And he also knows some they are not worthy of good conduct. They are not worthy of a good conduct certificate. He knows that. But he doesn't want to create problem to them. Because if he says conduct unsatisfactory, he may have any number of first rank he may have. He will not get seat in the higher college. Therefore, the bureaucratic procedure is write satisfactory, conduct satisfactory to everybody, from this end to that end, satisfactory. So how many times he writes satisfactory? So he makes a stamp satisfactory and puts that stamp. But the original intent is clean, that the teacher should certify the conduct of the student. Because conduct is as important as passing out the exam. So it is equally important. That is how originally it was intended. Then it has become a part and parcel of the bureaucratic procedure, and the intent is lost. The spirit is lost. The letter remained. But now you understand what is conduct. Therefore, is it the conduct which establishes a person as a Brahmana, or svādhyāya is a scholarship? Scholarship of the scriptural literature. That is svādhyāya is there, Sva is a svaveda, etc. So he recites, the Nilakantha gave the example of recitation of the Vedic text. That is svādhyāya. And then, but recitation alone is not a great thing. And then understanding the meaning and having a wide knowledge, that is śrutena. So 4 options, A, B, C, D. Among these 4, which determines a person as Brahmana. Don't give an ambiguous answer, give a firm answer. Look at the topic. In Ramayana, there is no varna by birth. Let me tell you some historic. In Vedic literature means Rigveda. Rigveda is the first Veda. The most ancient literature of the mankind itself, not only in India, but the entire mankind. What is the first literature that emerged from the human society? Rigveda. The date of Rigveda varies in the academic circles from 10,000 BC to 50,000 BC. It is that ancient it is. Max Muller, etc., great Indologists gave a long period as the date of Rigveda. And that period begins at 10,000 BC, means almost 12,500 years back from now, and goes further back. And there are some Indologists who have gone as back as 50,000 BC. That is Rigveda. And then came Yajurveda and Samaveda. You see, Samaveda is not a separate Veda. As far as literature is concerned, Samaveda is same as Rigveda, the same mantras. Only instead of reciting the hymns, you sing the hymns. That is the only difference. Mostly, 99%, it is just, instead of reciting, you sing it. That is all. Therefore, Samaveda is not so much a new Veda as Yajurveda is. Yajurveda is qualitatively different from Rigveda, because Rigveda is full of hymns, whereas Yajurveda is mostly prose. There is a qualitative difference between Rigveda and Yajurveda. So these are the 3 Vedas. Atharvana Veda is much later. It is not, in fact, Atharvana Veda is not counted as a Veda to begin with. That's why Veda Vidya is called Trayi, consisting of 3 Vedas. Rūgyajus-sāma. In the Yajna, the Vedic rituals, Atharvana Veda has no place. Rūgyajus-sāma-bhiryajanti. They perform the ritual with the help of Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda. So, Richas-sāmani yajugumshi sahishri ramruta satam. Like that there is a mantra. What is the wealth of great people? Rigveda, Yajurveda and Samaveda, 3 Vedas. So Vedas are 3. But then the literature won't remain frozen, right? It expands. And once it starts expanding, you will get some new ones which are very good, new editions which are very worthy, and some others which are not so worthy also. You get all mixed bag. And so the Atharvana Veda came later. Atharvana Veda is mostly the Veda of this world, whereas Rigveda Vedas are mostly the Vedas of the other world. That is a fundamental difference between Rigveda on one side and Atharvana Veda on the other side. Therefore, Atharvana Veda is also called Veda, but you can see the qualitative difference with the main three Vedas. So then we came to Atharvana Veda. I am giving you a historic perspective. Then we come to epics, the period of epics, Ramayana, which is considered 7000 BC. Then Mahabharata is almost certainly 5500 BC. Then later came Puranic literature, started coming. Vishnu Purana, Linga Purana, Matsya Purana, etc. are very ancient. They are from BC, after Mahabharata only. But then Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Brahmanda Purana, etc. are much later. To be more precise, Brahma Vaivarta Purana is 6th century of the Christian era. Brahmanda Purana is the 12th century of the Christian era, or some such thing. Kalika Purana is written in 1850, means it is 150 odd years old. Like that all these Puranas have come. Shiva Purana is put around 13th, 14th century as a reaction to Vishishtadvaita and Advaita. Therefore, Purana literature, all Puranas, they believe that Vyasa sat somewhere and wrote all Puranas. No. Now I gave you an entire picture, you followed what I said. Now come to this issue of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So Vedas, Ramayana, they firmly present Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, the four classes in the society determined by the guna karma, the conduct and the profession. Okay? Guna karma establish these four classes in the society. As long as you take guna karma as the basis for the classification, it is classification, they are classes. As long as you take guna and karma as the basis, these four classes are what is called a social capital. And they become universal also, because you will find the four based on guna karma all over the world. For example, you take a company, say take Boeing manufacturing company, big company is there, take that company. In that company, there are finance people, that is the Vaishya. There are security people, there will be serious security all around. If you go anywhere near, they won't, the security man will come, hey, move away from here. Security. And then there are technology people, knowledge people, Brahmana. And then there are working people, Shudra. All the four will be there in the Boeing company. In every company it will be like that. In every society it is like that. Not that these four classes, they are something connected to India only. No, they are everywhere. But caste system has nothing to do with this. Caste system is based on birth, not conduct, not guna, not karma. It is based on birth. And castes are not four. Castes are latest count 3,200. When Mandal Commission agitation happened, castes were 2,875. That is how Professor Mandalji has given his listed the castes. Now the caste number has increased, new castes are added. It is standing at 3,200. We are getting this census coming in another 1 year, and now they are going to count caste also. By the time the census is over, I have a feeling that the caste number will increase to 3,500. Because new castes are added all the time. Okay? It is based on birth. That is the caste system. Caste system is not a social capital. It is social division and social discord. Whereas class is a social capital, provided it is based on conduct. This is the conduct here, vṛttena, and conduct alone. In the language of Gita, what is called conduct here, vṛttena, in the language of Gita, it is based on guna karma. You see, I came across a great big Acharya, big Swami, big Acharya, he teaches Vedanta also. This topic came. You know what he is saying? The Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, it has nothing to do with guna karma and all that. You put that aside. But Gita statement, put that aside. That doesn't apply. It is birth only, birth only. Like that with his hands, he is gesticulating and saying it. I looked at him. He studied all these Shastras, kind of studied, not very deep, but he studied still. So, he doesn't need my certificate, but that he is a scholar, but his scholarship is mediocre. That is my assessment. But enough to understand what Gita is saying. But he distorts it and introduces birth, which was not introduced by Sri Krishna. So, I gave you a historic perspective. So, in Vedas, it is based on guna karma or conduct. It is not based on birth. In Ramayana, it is not based on birth. That's why in Ramayana you have characters like Guha, Sumantra. Sumantra, who drives the chariot, he is not a Suta caste. That is Mahabharata. Sumantra is a minister, and hence a Brahmana drives the chariot of a Kshatriya. That is Ramayana. Guha, he is not a Shudra, he is a Kshatriya. Shabari, she is not a low caste, she is a Brahmani. Shabari's guru is Matanga Maharshi, he is a Brahmana. So, this is, Ramayana is separate, it is closer to Veda. So, you can divide the entire literature into 3 units. One is Veda plus Ramayana. 1. The Puranic literature, Tantra and Agama literature. Descent. That is the descent. In the center comes Mahabharata. And in Ramayana, there is never any discussion about who is a Brahmana, who is a Kshatriya, etc. Because it is never an issue at all. It has become an issue, started becoming an issue in Mahabharata. That's why in Mahabharata, this kind of question is there. And there are incidents where the caste, the varna is determined based on birth. Like Karna was not given the status of Kshatriya based on his supposed birth. He was born in the caste of charioted chauffeurs, the drivers, Uber drivers that you have. He is born in that caste. That is a caste by birth. And so Karna is given that caste title, and therefore he was not considered a Kshatriya. And he was denied the privileges of a Kshatriya. Therefore, already caste, the varna has become corrupted already. You can see it in the example of Karna as well as Ekalavya. You can see there, where the varna, which is based on conduct and guna karma, is already corrupted, and the janma has come into the picture, and the corruption started. And in the Mahabharata, if you see entire Mahabharata, there is a serious opposition to this corruption. Like Gita it opposes this corruption. In Gita it is guna karma, not birth. And in Yakṣapraśnāḥ it is vṛttena, which is same as guna karma, the conduct, not birth. That is Mahabharata. It is in the transition. Before that, varna is 100% based on guna karma vṛttena. After that, it is 100% based on birth. In between Mahabharata, you find the transition. And in Puranic literature also, Bhavishya Purana, I have made elaborate notes on Bhavishya Purana, somewhere it is sitting back in Hyderabad. Bhavishya Purana very strongly condemns Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra classes based on birth, and it establishes that these four classes have nothing to do with birth. It is based on guna, karma, vritta only. That is Bhavishya Purana, one of the Puranas. To the extent I remember, there are many such instances, and Yakṣapraśnāḥ is one such instance. I have given you a bird's eye view of this controversial topic. Did you get the picture the way I explained? I gave it to you the way it is in the literature. I am not trying to present a particular conditioned opinion or colored opinion to you. I am not arguing in favor of this or in favor of that. This is how the literature is. Now we have a new narrative. They say Hindus, because Hindu society is fighting with its back to the wall, because large number of Hindus are migrating to other religions. They are converting themselves to the other religions. We say things that these evangelists, for example, they bring a lot of money and pour it, therefore Hindus are getting converted. It is not correct. There may be some examples here and there. Conversion is such a thing, it is heart, conversion of the heart. The person, he stops worshipping the gods that upper caste Hindus worship, and they start worshipping Jesus Christ and God and all that. They become Christians. They get baptized, baptism happens, and they convert. That is, they are motivated or they are pushed into the Christianity by the upper caste Hindu values. Not upper caste Hindu people, upper caste Hindu values, where you still follow the birth as the foundation for varna. You determine a person's varna based on birth. So varna we lost. We are stuck with castes, multiple castes. And birth has become the determinant, the determining factor. In India, all reservation, etc. is based on birth only. It has nothing to do with the merit or the qualification, etc. They will come later. Did I make the point clear? You see, some people argue that you look at these Brahmanas, they are great scholars. They are by birth Brahmanas and they are great scholars. This issue was addressed. That is a coincidence. Coincidences should not be taken as causes. He is born in the family of Brahmanas and he himself became a Brahmana. Therefore, the birth is not the cause of his Brahmanhood. Birth is a coincidence. He is a Brahmana because of the guna, karma, vritta only. It so happens that his parents are also Brahmana. That is a coincidence. But now, people argue, take such coincidences here and there. You see this Brahmana, he is a great scholar, only because he is born in a Brahmana family. Like that they say. So they take examples to favor their thesis of birth determining the varna. There are opposite examples, hundreds and thousands of examples, born in Brahmana family but remaining illiterate to the core, and conduct is very bad, like a villain. There are hundreds of examples. Now, they don't quote those examples. Therefore, these examples are wrong, those examples are wrong. Don't make birth as the determining factor. So, this varna vyavastha, it is called. Vyavastha means organization. Now, it is no more a vyavastha. It has become avyavastha. Varnas are gone. Varnas originally, a person is either Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaishya or Shudra based on his guna karma vrutta. That is gone. Now we are left with caste system only, which is by birth. And in this caste system, there are two major blocks. One is upper caste, the second is lower caste. Upper caste is not necessarily Brahmanas. Brahmanas have migrated. Migrated means not into other religion. They did not convert, not that way. They have left the villages. Originally they were in villages. Then they left the villages en bloc. The entire Brahmin community left the village. Nobody is left there. One person, one family, if it is there, that is great. All the Brahmanas, they migrated from villages to urban areas, urban centers. And then they migrated to other countries, Europe and America. Therefore, you don't find Brahmanas in the villages now. You find them in urban centers and in Europe and America. There, they don't present themselves as great Brahmana by birth. Like that they won't present. They integrate with the society. Therefore, they are not causing any discord now. They are not responsible for any discord. But then there are Kshatriyas. Within Kshatriya, there are many communities. Vaishya. Within Vaishya, there are many communities. Shudra. In that many communities, like Reddy, Kama, etc., many communities. These are the upper castes who are ruling the roost. And they shun the lower caste. Lower caste is Apashudra. Our Prime Minister comes under Apashudra. He is a lower caste person. That's why when he inaugurated the Rama temple recently, he is not eligible to touch Rama's idol, etc. That's why the great Shankaracharyas have boycotted the event. One of them openly said, I am boycotting because he is a Shudra, Apashudra. The other religious heads sent congratulatory notes in a politically more correct move. They did not present themselves there. People from America, Europe, etc. came, but these people did not go there. Then did you go? I did not go because my health was not good. Otherwise I would have gone. I am not a big Swami to go. I am not a religious icon. My going is not the point. Therefore, Indian society is just stuck with this. And you see, one point I want to say, these religious icons are there. Suppose you say Hindu Dharma. You don't say Swami TV, Hindu Dharma. Swami TV is nowhere in the picture. He is sitting in some corner. Hindu Dharma means that Pīthāthipati, that Mathāthipati, that great Guru. These are the icons. In South India, we have a dozen of them. Dozen at best, you can add another 2, 3, 4. Most of them, there are the exceptions, have a tremendous clout in the society. They are all big icons of the religion. They have tremendous clout in the society. Their opinion has a lot of power in the society, and they subscribe to birth. They don't subscribe to gunakarma and vrtta. They just ignore it. They push it under the carpet. They subscribe to birth. But telling somebody by birth as a lower caste, etc., is unconstitutional. Constitution doesn't agree. And there are very severe laws. If you insult a scheduled caste person based saying that he is of a lower caste, if you say anything that he belongs to a lower caste, therefore he is menial, his caste is menial. If you say any slur against his caste, And if he goes to the police station and complains against you, you will be immediately arrested. And it is an unbailable arrest. You have to prove that you are innocent. Such harsh statute book is filled with such harsh laws. The government has done like that. Therefore, what these people do, they should learn from the Constitution, and they should follow the Constitution wholeheartedly. They don't do that. They practice segregation based on birth in their vyavahara. They practice it in their worships, in their temples, in their religious places. They segregate based on birth. But they don't say it. They don't say it openly. They don't do it openly. They practice untouchability, but they don't say it openly. They don't do it openly. They keep half a dozen people around. Hey, move on, move on, move on. While he is going, a circle of people are around him so that nobody can come anywhere near to touch the Swami or the great icon. Is that not untouchability? Now, am I coming and embracing you? No, I am sitting in my place, you are sitting in your place. We are not practicing untouchability. Untouchability I don't practice means I have to come and embrace all of you or what? No, that is not what it is. Untouchability practice is you purposefully create systems where people are pushed aside and you remain in a hollow sphere where nobody can enter. Anyway, I am blabbering a lot. So, the society is paying a very heavy price because of this mischief. Very heavy price. The heavy price is the lower caste people, all of them, most of them, they go into other religions. They walk away. They don't remain in Hindu dharma. So, but still, our friends, they hold on to the birth-based system only. Are you following? Do I sound harsh or any such thing? No, I am not that way. Just I am examining it. So, this is the most unfortunate thing. And there is a movement in India, and I too assist in that movement now and then, to the extent I can. The movement is bring all people together. And the caste distinctions based on birth should be ignored. That is how they should come together. That is the movement, Samarasata movement, started by Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh and Vishwa Hindu Parishad and others. I support this movement to the extent I can. And you embrace the so-called low caste people. You go and embrace them. Touch them, sit with them, eat with them. Touch means India is a hot country and you don't go and embrace real physically. You shake hand, that is all at best you. Only you do not segregate, do not push away. As long as you do not push away, you shake hands and eat food side by side. While eating food, you don't keep a person in your lap and eat food, He will be sitting by the side only. And he eats in his plate, I eat in my plate. What is the problem in that? I propose to a great religious icon of South India. Sir, we should do something about it. These so-called low caste people, they are also Hindus, they are our brothers and sisters. We should embrace them. And okay, you need not go to the extent of inter-caste marriage. That marriage eliminates caste. You may not go to that extent. That we will come later. At least we will eat food together. That is what I proposed. You know what he said? Our agama rules won't accept. These agamas are written by these people 200 years back. So there is a lot of hypocrisy in this regard. This is hurting the Hindu society. And the only organizations which are working against this hypocrisy I can name, one is Rashtriya Swayaṃsevak Sangha, another is Vishwa Hindu Parishat, and a few Swamis like me. They are also supporting the cause of integration. But the major religious icons, they still pursue the obscurantist, orthodoxical, despicable practice of segregating people based on birth. They still practice. The saving grace is the modern gurus, not these orthodoxical gurus. They are incorrigible. Nobody can do anything to them. They continue with their practices. They don't have many followers. But their opinion has got power. You see this contrast? They don't have many followers. When they go, upper caste people, some 30-40 brahmanas will be around them. That is all they follow, nothing more. They don't have any followers. But their opinion, their thought process and their practices have a tremendous impact on the society. Because they segregate in a small way. And they say segregation is the rule. That is the Shastra. They give the sanction of the Shastra to segregation of people based on birth. They give sanction in a surreptitious way more often than not. Because of that, in the society, all other upper castes, they also follow the same hypocrisy. And the lower caste people are tired of this hypocrisy. They have tried to come near in some ways. If you are open, if you embrace us, we are ready to come to you. They have tried. But now they became very much aware. A lot of awareness has come. Now they are tired. They said, we don't want your Rama. We don't want your Krishna. And they converted to Christianity and Islam also. Islam conversions happened mostly in the Mughal rule. They do not happen now. Now the Islam conversions are very rare, one here, one there. Most of the conversions are into Christianity and quite a good number of conversions into Buddhism, which is all right, because Buddhism is Hinduism only. So these are some of the social issues associated with it. I am unable to present it. How to present it, I don't know. I am struggling in a way. There are people who still, they say they are Hindu enthusiasts, Hindu activists. They call themselves, we are Hindu activists, and they have a lot of clout. But still, they argue in favor of Brahmana by birth. Can you believe it? That is the worst part of it. And they say there should be no conversions. From the rooftop they say there should be no conversions. Are, when you say there should be no conversions, come. Let us all come and sit together and eat food. No. But there should be no conversions. Okay, there should be no conversions. You say that caste by birth is not acceptable. It is by guna, karma, vṛttena only. You say, no, they don't say that.
They must be Brahmins themselves.
Not necessarily Brahmanas. Brahmanas have migrated mostly. But these religious icons, mostly they are Brahmanas. That we cannot avoid that. We have to admit it. One saving grace is big gurus who have a large following in India as well as outside India, like Sri Ravi Shankar, Sri Jaggi Vasudeva, such gurus, big gurus, Ramabhadracharya, Tulasi Pethadhishwara, such big gurus who have real big clout in the Indian society and also outside the country. They have dismissed the birth-based segregation. They embraced all. Come, all of you. For example, recently, Sri Jaggi Vasudeva was asked when he is conducting big Shivaratri function, he was asked by a Muslim person, can Muslims attend Shivaratri function? He said, Muslims cannot attend Shivaratri function, Christians cannot attend Shivaratri function, Hindus also cannot attend Shivaratri function, only human beings can attend Shivaratri function. That is what he said. And it is not an empty statement. They are all there in that crowd of 20,000 or 30,000, big crowd, Shivaratri crowd. There are Hindus, there are Christians, there are Muslims, and there are Parsis, everybody is there. And he says it, and it is practiced also. There is no hypocrisy. And this is the only saving grace for the Hindu society. These organizations like Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, etc., and these big gurus who have a big following, they don't follow segregation. They don't divide persons, people based on caste and creed. Christians are also welcome. All castes are welcome. No, we don't ask what is your caste, what is your religion. We don't ask. You are welcome. And we support you. We are all one. We are brothers. They eat together. They move together. They work together. This is the only saving grace. But these another set of activists are there. They are hypocrites. They don't like conversion, but at the same time they are not willing to change their ways of segregation. You got the point? This is hypocrisy. Very unfortunate. Having given you a bird's eye view of the whole blessed thing, now what Yudhishthira is answering. Question itself. Answer we will come to. How is the question? 4 options he gave. So is it by ancestry, that is birth? Or is it by conduct? Or is it by study of scriptural literature? Or is it just mere recitation part, svādhyāyena? Or is it by wide versatile knowledge? By what do you determine the varna of a person? Let us finish that verse. Rajan, O Dharmaraja, Brahmaṇyaṃ, the Brahminhood, kena, by what? Bhavati happens. Kulena, is it by ancestry? A question. How do you know it is a question? There is a va. Va, everywhere it comes. So you say kulena va. That is the question. Why means question. Vṛttena va. By conduct. That is the question. Svādhyāyena va. By recitation of the scriptures. śrutena va. By versatile knowledge. That is the meaning of shruta. Okay? So 4 options. Birth is one of them, the first one. Etat, this, sunishchitam, in a well-ascertained way. That is kriya visheshanam. Sunishchitam brūhi. Prabrūhi. Clearly answer me. That is the question. Okay? Yudhishthira uvāca. Shrunu yakṣakulam tata. He says tata. Tata means oh son. Tata is not grandfather. Tata is son in Sanskrit. In Telugu, for some reason, it became grandfather. The same word in Telugu means grandfather, not in Sanskrit. Na svādhyāyo na ca śrūtam kāranam hidvijatveca vṛttameva na samshayaha. I'll continue with this verse. Okay? Now let me see 1 or 2 questions. So here is a thing sitting before me for quite some time. This is not a question. That is how it is sitting before me. Just want to thank, it's okay. Topic of jealousy. Not a question, just an opinion. You please look at it. I believe that I am a jealous person. We are all jealous sometime or the other. So previously it was in worldly matters. Now only in spiritual matters. Now in spiritual matters there is no jealousy. There can be no jealousy because we are all the same Atma. In worldly matters it can be there. You acknowledge that it is there, God bless you, it will go away. So taking up the challenge, I asked myself, can I not be jealous? Yes, you can be jealous. In fact, from now on you are not jealous anymore. I realized that I, the seer, am not jealous. Yeah, as the Sakshi you are not jealous, that is good. A jealousy thought arises and it has no I. Good, you are a Sakshi. There is no I in the jealousy thought. I supply it with an I and then assume that I am jealous. You are right. So supply it with an I means identification. Put very well. So that is how you become jealous. Otherwise, there is only thought of jealousy. Upon investigation, it is just a thought. Good. I am not jealous. There is no one who is jealous. It is like a ghost that appears to be there, jealousy. But upon investigating, no one is there. There is no jealousy. There is great freedom in recognizing this. Why I waited so long to read this? Such a wonderful presentation. So anyway, this is what is presented. This is what I was explaining day after day, year after year. Very well presented. That question is answered. And then here is a question about loneliness. I need at least 15-20 minutes to explain it. Therefore, I postpone it. So, the fulfillment of the small self is a trap. That is said in Atma Bodha class. You do meditation, if you are doing it for self-fulfillment, self is the person, it is a trap. There is no such thing. Then the question is, does that include the joy we feel in performing daily duties? No. Because when you do your duty, there is no self in it. There is no me in it. Because when you desire the result of the action, there only mine and me come. When there is no desire for the result of the action, there is no mine, there is no me. There is no me, ahankara in duty, in dutifulness. And then further, you feel joy in doing the duty. In joy there is no me. If there is me, there is no joy. And when there is joy, there is no me. So you are blessed. Like caring for the home, walking, helping others, there is no me in all of that. I mean, when you derive joy in keeping home, in the joy there is no small self. There is no me. When you walk in a kind of a meditative way, or you walk as a constitutional effort, I mean to keep good health, there is no mine and me in it. You please continue with it. And then helping others, if there is joy in helping others, then there is no small self in it. So therefore keep them. Only meditation for the fulfillment of the small self is a trap. Okay? We'll continue. Om Purnamadaঃ Purnamidam